Here's another late development, and this news keeps coming in as we're talking here.
My mama making breakfast, so I'm about to go over there.
Oh, that's what you eat before breakfast.
We live. Yeah, you gonna spoil your appetite, man.
Come on, man. I'm 30.
Oh, what's appetite? Well, he said that like appetites only apply to kids or something.
It
Like,
do, cause shit, I can eat whatever and then eat my food.
this is what happens when you let a man child have a man life, man. Just out here eating ice cream before breakfast. I could never.
This basically a slush.
Italian ice into some Kool-Aid.
This is slush.
Don't sound nothing good about that, man. Nothing healthy, man.
What? This is Kool-Aid. This lemon Kool-Aid and
Somebody ain't nothing healthy about that, my man.
I'm trying to eat good, bro. I ain't trying to be healthy.
All right.
Well, I want the flavor on my palate.
All
like
right.
I'm putting Coke in some water.
All right. So we doing 11 to 15. Yeah.
Yep.
All right.
Yep.
We could go ahead and get started.
Bears 5-1, you know, about to hit that 6-1 up.
Man. Hey, y'all looking good. Y'all looking good.
We look
y'all the ugliest 5-1 team I've ever seen, but y'all 5-1, that's for sure.
Hey, it's 06, we didn't look that good either. We had Rex Grossman out here doing his thing. Every other game, he'll tee up.
Everybody blood pressure high and shit. All right, that's how it be. That's how it be.
Hey, yeah, I need y'all to tell me who definitely wins. No question about it today on football side, so I can make some FanDuel bets. I like to win $1 at a time.
Definitely. You heard it. You heard it. Any given Sunday ain't no such thing.
Hey.
Nah, there's some such things, bro. I bet on some teams last week and I won. I only want to bet against the weakest teams in the world. You know what I mean? So that way I know it's a good chance.
Yeah. Welcome to the Books and Beyond Mail Book Club, y'all. This is review number 3 for the Spook that sat at the door. I am your host, as always, Heero. I am joined by Black, JB, and Robert. I can't remember the name of the book. Like, I always hesitate. I always want to say it's a spook in the window or a spook on the ground. Like, I always.
He said Malcolm X style.
And as always, we are here to read books, identify, talk to each other, and let it be known that the Black male experience is more than being just fly, jiggy, pimps, all that stuff. We read books and we have meaningful conversations, and this is an example of it. Real quick, how's everybody doing? Let's start. Rob, what's good?
Hey man, another day, another dollar.
Shame.
I'm trying to make sure I'm not eating bad like Black out here in these streets.
Speaking of eating bad, Black, what are you eating, bro? What is this?
This is a lemon ice inside of some Kool-Aid. This shit is off the chain, I'm telling you.
That's his coffee, man.
This is a slushy. Look, this is a slushy.
JB, and like I was just saying, man, that's a 5-1 team on your chest right there. It's an ugly 5-1, but you got a 5-1 team on your chest. So I'm proud of you. What you doing?
We'll take them how they come, man. We'll take them how they come. We got the Rams today. We need Jared Goff to go back to rookie golf today.
Hey, good luck to you. And this week, I can't even begin to say. The election is next week, right? Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So my whole little thing is about to go topsy-turvy. But we in here. We're going to make the most out of it. This could be the very last one. If the world goes nuclear next week, this is the memory of us. This is the memory of us.
Yeah, we got one more Sunday. We got one more Sunday. We got one more Sunday before the election. Oh yeah.
Right.
I'm gonna bring the since this is 11 to 15. I'm gonna be bringing the choppers in the chat.
I appreciate it.
Hey, that's a prop. That's a prop for anybody watching this video.
Man's entitled to a Second Amendment. He's fine. It's YouTube, man. They don't care.
He entitled to a second commandment.
Where we at? So we're at chapter 11, right, guys? There's a lot going on. There's a lot going on, but this is the first time I feel like we didn't really go nowhere in multiple chapters. Everything was kind of strung together in the same setting, but there's a lot of descriptions that go down. So let's break into chapter 11 real quick. And this is the conversation that took part with Freeman and Pretty Willie. And this conversation had so many facets to it, to the women that Willie hates, never wanting to mess with Whitey, but also being satisfied by Whitey. It's so strange. Willie's dynamic and how he doesn't understand how he's necessary in every right of way a slave to this idea of not wanting to be looked at as a white man in the group. What was some of y'all thoughts on that introduction to Willie being having Freeman over to the house? Black. I'll wait. You eat. Never mind. Right,
go ahead. Somebody else can go real quick.
JP, what was your introduction to that?
I mean, I think we starting to see because earlier he kind of foreshadowed that he would be, trying to convince Willie to get on their side, like slowly but surely. And he's starting to show him a little bit of who he really is. Like for the first time, Black over there strapped up. But he's starting to show, like, this is the first time I feel like Freeman showing somebody who he really, like, how he really think in the book. So that's what we starting to see. And, he started talking about the importance of education and all of that stuff too. So
Willie's infatuation with wanting to stick it to the white man as much as possible, even if it meant having sex with their women and then disposing of them. The lingo of it all. I found it kind of strange that as Willie, as much as the education Willie has in understanding who Freeman is as a person, why he would even offer up this woman to Freeman in that engagement. It just seemed strange to me. Rob, was there anything?
You remember on Don't Be a Menace when he asked him why he messing with white girls?
No.
He's like, I would do what the white man do to us all these years. And you're like, what? Fuck him.
There's the old adage: every time you get a head from a white woman, your ancestor smile. That's how it is. Rob, what was it about this scene that caught your eye?
I think kind of going back to chapter 10, when Freeman basically was thinking to himself, like, I see what his flaw is and I'm going to build upon it. And it was kind of interesting to see that whole interaction at Pretty Willie, whatever his name is, at his crib. And then it was more interesting to see what ended up happening and how they got it accomplished, which I'm pretty sure we'll talk about in a little bit.
Yeah, there's some things that I want to talk about as Willie's known for his speech, his poetic nature, and his ability to write. He's by far the most educated in the Cobras, next to Freeman, and he has a sort of a propagandist type tone to himself. And I like some of the descriptions that Freeman was looking for in a propagandist. He was looking for someone who was able to talk about Whitey without mentioning Whitey. And I think it's so important to do this because it spoke to a issue that I constantly find myself having. Like, if you're talking about your oppressors, but you don't want your oppressors to turn around and say, look, this is their nature. Like, look at what they said and look at what they do to us and look at how they present us. How would you do that? And it's sort of a difficult conversation to have when you're not, paying attention to how you attack your opponent. So not mentioning Whitey and also using the sound of music, a tempo, a rhythm without a beat, a cappella, to speak to the nature. Did any of that catch anybody?
This is what I was talking about last week when I was moving too far ahead, how Freeman was going around saying like, what's more to them than just fucking what they've been doing. And he do the poems and everything else. He got a whole motherfucking book of that shit, man. Now he do the poems. Freeman turn it to songs, and yeah, it's just I like that.
I think this was just another example of how far ahead Freeman thinking ahead.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Freeman was definitely on. Freeman is on another level with his thought process, and it's almost baffling. Like at this point, it's baffling that no one is. It's like this dude is wearing his Spider-Man costume 24/7. Like none of y'all see that this guy's a hero. Like y'all don't see this man. But like he already explained that to us in the beginning. But it's becoming harder and harder for me to believe that. Another problem that Willie had with education, because when he talked about dropping out of school, he talked about how his problem was you could still be the best educated but still be poor. And that's like he was like there's this stigma about standing in line and getting government handout. All of them mention it as, you know, they talked about at the end of the day when you're done being a Cobra, guess what? You go from this group to lining up in another group. But that's ultimately their fear. Having all this education, all this power, and still not being enough. But how his grandmother bragged about it. Do we have? I don't think that's no longer a conflict in today's interest. Some people go to college, some people don't, and both parties make money. Some of the richest people in this country didn't go to college. Some of the most efficient people, statistically speaking, some of the most. But statistically speaking, the higher your education is, the better off you are. Is this stigma still a factor, JB?
I think so. I think there's like, why are you getting educated? You could go get a trade and go get money. I don't have a problem with either one. I always back the educational backing for the standpoint that you just need to know what's out there and what's available to you. Like a lot of the stuff that I've learned about, and I'm sure Rob could speak the same about kind of the tax world, like from a financial world, from an insurance world, like all of this stuff that's our day-to-day, how you save money, how you move money, how you build wealth. Like that's stuff that I have learned from just continuing to seek education. Education don't have to necessarily mean school, but it does mean that you have to continue to educate yourself. Like that can't be taken from you, and that's how you build that platform, that foundation for your family and for the generations moving forward. So I think that is that perception of like what do you do with education if you still poor and you don't have anything? Well, it's a building block. Like, because now somebody else starts to build to that, and you can teach, and then we growing. Now, I posted the other day about the importance of a mentor. Like, my mentor, it took him, X amount of years to get to where he can tell me about all the things that he went through and everything like that, to help me escalate my path. So,
and Rob, unless you want to add some salt to that.
I do when y'all went out the Rob.
Go ahead. I think JB hit it on the head.
Yeah, he did. I was saying, but remember, what's that? The college dropout, where dude was getting out super educated, degree after degree after degree, to do nothing with it. That's what.
No, definitely. The thing that I've noticed with having degrees, it gives me the ability to say fuck all. Like, I get to choose my path. I have the ability to travel around the world because I have XYZ. Now, that's not to say that someone who doesn't have it has it, but that is the advantage I've seen. When I walk into an organization, I can immediately intend to state my value. And if they don't agree to that, then I can walk away. A lot of people who might not have the ability to say, I have hospitals at my disposal. That might not be something you could do. If you're a person by trade, a lot of your income is based on your ability to just show up.
It depends on what you doing though. If you're about trade,
sure.
It depends on what you do, because I'm a heavy equipment operator. So it depends on. I can pretty much leave and go somewhere, but I like here because of the type of money I make and the hours I get.
Do you find yourself ever being in the mindset of you know what, I want to kind of move to another spot? Do you find yourself having to if you had to find another gig, would where did you get a Magnum? Is that a
This dude black. Every 3 seconds, it's a new gun.
This man really went into the army, man.
yeah? Just like Black was the person I went to go talk about my gun when I went to go get mine. So he know what he's doing.
What are you talking about?
Like, he was trying to figure out the first gun for him. I always tell everybody the first gun to get is
Shotgun.
a shotgun.
Yeah, my shit's
For your
sitting right
house.
at the door, right on the corner side. Easy access.
I just saw a video of Ricky Smiley. A squirrel was in his house. He had the shotgun right there in his bedroom. Like, that's good. You're like, if I can get to my gun, though. But you know, black people scatter rodents, bro. It don't matter fucking. If you do go hunting, you can go hunting. You can hunt for squirrel. But if that motherfucker in your house, it's a whole different type of squirrel.
The rat now.
right now. So, and I think the last thing is, speaking of guns, the last thing we talk about is the what it takes to kill a man and the two types of killers. They talked about how when you first, there's some men who will not be who are satisfied by money, women, drugs, food, whatever. Then there's some people who are only pleased and satisfied with blood. And these two types of killers exist in the world. People who kill for the fun of it and people who kill because they have to. And Willie is a person that will only kill if he has to. Freeman is a person who kills if he has to. There are some people in the gang that he flat out says no, they will kill for any reason.
Said Spank,
Like
right?
they hunt, they gamers, they big game hunters. So it's like you got hunters, bro. Some people kill to eat, some people kill just to fucking have fun. Like that's their hobby. I got buddies that's hunting right now. Hopefully he gets some deer. That shit is amazing, but his family will go out and hunt. Like, well, I got a coworker who hunts during duck season, just fucking cuz, bro. He be having so many ducks for no reason. Like, there's no way you can eat. Like, duck is fucking amazing if y'all never had it. But eating it like that's sick. That's like eating too much chicken, bro. No matter how good that shit is, it's just too much. You gotta eat something else.
No, and what? Go for it, JB.
No, I was just gonna say, wasn't he saying Spank was a real killer?
Yeah.
Like, yeah, he was saying Spank was a real killer, and he just didn't know it yet. But
But that was the hunter. That's the one that was good with the rifle.
Yeah, that he was the best one with the rifle. The
Yeah, motherfuckers be natural rifle people, bro. It'd be crazy. It'd be like that.
Rob, did you have anything to throw in there?
No, I found it interesting. Wasn't this part of the book where he basically was like, what's your motivator for that hate? If it's anger, once you kill the person that you're angry over, all of that feeling goes out the door.
Yeah, he did bring that up.
This is a shotgun, Heero.
That's not a shotgun.
This is a shotgun. That shoot out 410 shotgun shells.
Oh, snap. Oh, damn. What's the recoil on that?
Not bad at all. It's the judge.
That one right there, that's take down a bear.
Yeah, it shoot out the 4.5 long call too. So yeah, you can take down a bear. Now you can't take a bear down with this, with AR. And like people think these are crazy ass guns. You can't take no bear down with this little bullet.
Oh yeah, you would need a whole clip because it'd be pinging. Probably would it go through the top skull of a bear?
Oh, if you get the head, yeah, it should go. I don't know if they shit that hard. It'll go through a human head. That's what you use in war.
I know it go through a human. I see now. But we chapter 12. Chapter 12. We talk a little bit about the setup of the crime. And this is where Willie's color comes into play, but also a lot of other things. What were some things that stuck out to you in chapter 12 as they were prepping for this crime?
I thought
this is when they robbed the bank.
It's the preparation. I think chapter 13. They started robbing people here. Yeah, this is when the bank robbery happened.
How smart the play was. How smart the play was altogether, bro. That shit was just too smart.
Even before that.
You was the light skinned dude.
No, I was gonna say even before that, Um, what white man is he talking to?
No, it was the light skinned dude out the group. He wasn't white.
No, I'm saying because they kept talking about like with Freeman before he even goes to the game, he's talking to some white man and they talking about how, or maybe it's just the setup of the.
No, you're talking about one of the board members who shooting with Spank, right?
Yeah, and
He
they
took
talking
him to a
about how like
rifle range and
Freeman.
let them shoot.
They
Yeah.
was talking about how like Freeman, like if black people applied yourself, he's the ideal black man.
Oh,
So
that's Stevenson.
Stevenson, okay, yeah, that's who he
But
was
wasn't that
talking.
was Stevenson his partner though? Wasn't that a black dude?
Dawson?
Dawson, the black.
No, his partner. Remember, he got when he first came home. The dude who picked him up, he was black.
Yeah, I thought that was Pete.
What's his name?
Pete.
Okay.
Yeah, Pete.
So Stevenson is not the dude that takes Spank to the rifle range, is it?
No.
Stevenson is just the president, right?
Yeah, just the president. He's just
okay.
the right to do.
Yeah, so I just thought that was so crazy because like the whole time y'all talking about that, he plotting against y'all, like, and he like 5 steps ahead of y'all.
Yeah. Something that came out that was super interesting about this report was even back then, they understand how crime works. Crime is an existence of the ability for you to attribute crime. You will not have crime if there is no police, because police are the only ones that can dictate a crime.
Just like what movie was that one? Like it's a Heero movie. They said the villains only come because it's Heero.
Oh, that's you're talking about
one of them Avengers, one
Vision. You're talking about Vision in Civil War.
I wasn't Vision. It was the other dude that he's fighting, right? Oh, so they did name him Vision, right?
Yeah, his name's Vision.
The bad guy.
Yeah, Vision is like they say the more people who with inclined abilities will only increase the ability of more inclined ability people. And we know statistically speaking that police arrest people more in impoverished areas because you be a goddamn fool to be driving around Hollywood Boulevard looking to pull over Range Rovers and Mercedes Benz. You just be an idiot. You would literally lose your job within a week after pulling over 6 people. But guess who can afford lawyers and has direct access to your boss's hotline? Uncle Pookie and them sitting on the block. Like it's easier to harass them. So
Bravo.
just this inclined notion that yes, we understand even to today, if we didn't want to have black people rummaging, they would own. But I also love the fact that white people have to constantly use black people as a deterrent and a fearmonger. They have to say, hey, the only way we can get more policing here is if we say that black people are coming into Hyde Park, because that was what Steve and them were concerned about in a different chapter. But let's start this setup for this crime real quick. I'm going to say this off top, and this is at this point, I'm now being really skeptical about Freeman and his cause, because not only were they willing to take a life, they did shoot a guard in the thigh. Granted, that person didn't die, but you don't know what happened to that dude as far as we're concerned, but they did commit a crime. And I don't know if I could condone that. Has your feelings on Freeman and the crew's motives changed?
Nope. You got to get that money.
Yeah. And I feel like
they couldn't fund it.
Go ahead, Rob.
I feel like to what Black said, as well as up until this point, like that Apache fight, that was a joke, right? And I feel like Freeman had to show them that, look, if you all listen to me and we stick to the plan, we can do stuff and get away with it.
What about you, Black? Like the fact that are we all in agreement that they did have to commit a crime for this first process? Do the ends meet the needs in this situation, Black?
Yeah, they had to fund. They got to fund the movement. If the movement is going to be quiet, they have to do it in a quiet way. So now, if they had a foundation and everything, motherfuckers would know what they were doing. Figure out that they have something going on, but they do it in a way that nobody knows it was them. So now they can still get their movement in place and then get the money that they need.
What about you, JB? In this day and era, this plan wouldn't work, but for their time, was this plan sufficient? Do you feel like you could have caught these people if you were the detective on site?
Nah, because Freeman spent so much time studying how they think. That's why he knew it would work. So I think that's why it did work the way that it did. Like he was like, they're not looking for no white people, no black people robbing a bank. So that's why we need the lightest skinned dude that look white under a mask. Because under a mask, they ain't looking at you like that. But when you are on the corner, you know, and they had that conversation when you are on the corner with your hat brim, with your brim hat and everything like that, you black. But you know, when they looking at your skin, they don't think that. So.
And something that I wanted to bring to attention is also their fixation on weather. They understand that when it's cold outside, black people aren't outside. Like we don't go outside in cold, which is something that's still true till today. But like
I love the cold though. I was telling my coworker that yesterday.
yeah, like I live in the Midwest. I just got back to the Midwest after being in the South for so many years. I miss the snow as fucking frustrating as it is to driving in a 2-wheel car. Hey, that shit is live. Like I just enjoy waking up and seeing snow on the ground for some reason. It just makes me happy. But
where you at now?
I'm out here in Omaha until the end of this year. Man, I can't wait.
That sucks.
Do you find this? Is it not strange how they've depicted black people as the white people in this story continue to depict black people as less than? They are constantly being deceived by their own tropes, like the fact that they knew that that when they reported that it was an all white group, and the fact that the police aren't going to, once again speaking to the whole, police don't go to rich neighborhoods looking for coke and Percocet. They go to the hood, even though you'd be more than likely to knock on any door, and it's right there on the kitchen table, right next to some scrambled eggs. Like, oh shit, y'all hungry? Have a seat. But moving
sit down and do a line.
Man, moving forward, everything from here on out, I don't know if it was just the justice in me, or it isn't necessary, because I think they do a callback to some MLK's speech in the chapter before about how you could move for justice and the right thing quietly, and just as easily they could ignore you. So you do have to shake things up, and it's either I have to become comfortable with this idea, or there's a good chance that I wouldn't have fit into this gang. I don't think I could have been a Cobra. I don't know about y'all. Black clearly could have been a Cobra.
You would have been, nah, couldn't have. It'd have been called the Black Stone though. I wouldn't know Black Stone. See, what do you know about the Black Stones? You know, they fucking they linked with Al Qaeda, right? So what they were going to do was attack the Sears Tower. Did you know about that?
Hell no.
So yeah, so they were getting plugged with them. You know that motherfucker, their chief was at the inauguration of, who was that, Reagan? Or got invited? Rob, which one was that? Was that Reagan?
I don't even know.
Yeah, one of them.
Knowledge to me too.
Yeah, they invited Chief Mali to the to inauguration, bro. But you knew he linked with Al Qaeda, right?
No, I knew he was linked with some terrorists.
Yeah, they weren't fucking around, bro. They was gonna set
That's
that
how he got
up.
What they say he had a grenade launcher or something?
I seen a grenade launcher in the hood. So yeah, they got him. niggas be having all type of shit. They got little rocket launchers and shit like that. You know, the single shot too. And then I seen motherfucker. I didn't know it was a single shot. So I got in the Marine Corps. They have single shot fucking rocket launchers, or you only can shoot that one that's in there. They could be having all type of shit.
Wait,
back then,
don't call me like I'm a Black Stone or something.
No, I'm saying, but you know how. But you know, I made sure that like a video or two ago, they knew that you was a disciple. But I'm just saying that fucking
like out here letting out trade secrets, man. Damn,
that ain't no secret. That's like being in a motherfucking
Rob is trying to be
ain't no secret what fraternity you in.
Family guy.
Yeah,
I don't know what that guy Black talking about.
Plausible deniability. I love it, Rob. I love it.
I'm a USMCGD. Look.
Chapter 13.
But now how it go is yeah, they was working, bro.
Chapter 13 we have which is to me the beginning of a riot.
Wait. We gonna skip over the part where they hit up the armory too?
Oh, so that one, okay, they spent a page on that. So I didn't think they found it. They just put it in the bus, but go ahead. I thought it was significant. I thought there would be a little bit more setup to that, but They only
It
gave
was
me a
too
page.
easy because
Yeah,
nobody
it was
expected somebody to
calculated.
hit that armory up, bro.
Mm-hmm.
That I played basketball there as a kid before they fucking shut it down to the public for playing basketball there for some reason. And then I played basketball after being in the service there. And then they shut it down even for us. They was hating.
So like go in, Rob, because like they spent a page on it, and when I was listening, I was like, damn, I thought they would have talked more about it, but it was just one page. So
No, I think for me, above all, the bank robbery as well as them hitting the armory, it shows like how calculated of a man Freeman really is. You know what I mean?
How
To the
little they
point
think
where
of black people.
yeah, and to the point where he had a CTA bus basically
Man.
transport the stolen. I'm like,
Yeah.
he cold. He
Yeah.
cold.
yeah.
He
They
cold.
did used
but-
to stop right there. You know, they stopped right there between 51st and 52nd, right there between Drexel and College. They did used to stop right there.
the thing that makes me like because this isn't the first time. If you had told me in chapter 2 that that Freeman could do something like this, I would have believed you. The challenge I'm looking for Freeman now is what happens when his plan doesn't work. What does he do? That's what I'm trying to figure out now, because everybody looked good.
Now,
when
what
they
plan?
planned.
What plan are you talking about? What portion of the plan are you talking about that you feel that won't work?
Any of it.
No, but that's what I'm saying. Like, I want it the best way. Heero, Iron Man, Captain America, all these motherfuckers, they always look good. But it's not until their armor doesn't work or the utility belt is empty that you really get to see what they're made out of. Like, and now we've seen that Freeman has a plan, and when his plan goes through, everything works. But what happens when it doesn't? Can he still get the W? That's the part I'm now interested in finding out. This is the 4th time he's come up with a strategy that works, which is expected.
But the whole
You
plan
can go
is
back
just
to the
get
bank
people
robbery.
yeah, but the whole
He didn't
plan
talk
is for. Go ahead.
Go ahead.
Go for
Black.
it, bro. Go for it, bro.
No, the whole plan is just to build the confidence of the people, because they want to do what they're doing just so everybody else can be confident enough to stand up on their own. It was not like they plan on doing it and then taking over and being the leaders of the free nation. They just want to get black people to stop sitting on their fucking ass and then feel like, they just don't take what the white man giving them instead of taking what they, should have. I was watching this Denzel movie, Cry Freedom.
Mhm.
Y'all seen that?
Mm-hmm.
And that was like, direct reflection of the type of shit that, he wants. Not like, we don't want violence or confrontation, but we can have that.
Hey, Black, real quick. Shay's trying to get into the chat. He said he's having difficulties. I don't know if you can send him the link.
I'll send them a link.
Yeah, Rob. To your point, but was that a mishap or was that a comeuppance? Like it was a benefit to them, like that one of the security guards wasn't there.
No, not even that. I mean, even further than that, when you think about them orchestrating the plan, the way the plan was described, it was described in a way where nobody was going to get hurt. Right? They went into the bank when it actually was go time. One of the guards wasn't there, and they immediately shot the other one in the leg.
And
They
that's
didn't
why
have to do that.
But that's and therein lies the reason why I was like, okay, they're escalating this situation, and this is that tenacity. And Willie was the one that shot him, if I'm correct.
That's one of the hotheads, right?
Yeah. So and that is a chink in the armor for me, because it was an unnecessary aggression, which speaks to the brutality of their nature, which can become a downfall. And it's good to be aggressive when you're a pusher, but it can be a downfall to you. If someone has a counter, man, that aggression will knock you on your ass. So that's why I was kind of conflicted there. I was like, not only did you shoot him and kick away the gun, you then A-Town stomped on this dude's head. Like, that was a thing for them. But
He said A-Town stuff.
It was one other thing.
Go.
In that chapter. I think they set up early. They was talking about how the Cobras has been out of sight and out of mind, basically. Like,
yeah,
nobody
Go.
heard the Cobras. Nobody know what the Cobras been up to, and that was kind of setting up. I think what's coming.
definitely. So the riot begins because a 15-year-old kid was shot for throwing a stone at a
just like today,
officer.
bro.
And it's scary. The similarities, the almost picture perfect from the from the police report to the officers' involvement to the news and media's depiction. It is eerie how similar this is. And it really speaks to this thing like, if this was all I knew, ain't shit changed. Except that one of those 15-year-olds would have had a cell phone, and the officer would have had body camera showing us the same thing. But even then, black people were already of the mindset, we don't give a fuck. We don't give a fuck what happened for you to shoot this kid. He's a kid. And as long as he didn't have a gun, what you shooting for? And that's something that's always been like in my mind, like, why do we allow officers to get away with shooting anybody when in other countries they can't pull their weapons and fire until fired upon? Like, why don't we get the same love and respect third world countries get right here in America? Like, tell me about some of your feelings, Jamie, about the similarities and stuff.
Get your jacket. Come on, Mill.
Black, mute.
You want to hear me being a parent?
Nah, it's a book club.
His parents in the book club today.
Ask that question again, Heero.
What were some of these? What were some of the eerie situations that you saw in this buildup that made you say, "Man"? Like, did you have any feelings to how eerie some of these things looked? Like, what were your thoughts on this?
I think the whole thing was eerie. To, like you said, the only thing that was missing was the body cams and the cell phone, like to be able to see what exactly happened. But you know, you put yourself like even to the looting and the running, you know, everything. You know, the escalation. I thought it was interesting how they portrayed like the black cops that's from the area, and they was de-escalating the situation, and then you had a white cop come back in, and he basically say, "Fuck what they doing. We about to escalate this back up."
No,
like,
no,
it seemed intentional to that point, you know.
No, absolutely. And Rob, I'm gonna ask you this question: do you think? And this is something that I was kind of puzzled with. I think us as a people, us as a black people, have become more docile. And the reason why I say this is because today in Minneapolis, when they took out our boy Floyd, it took them 4 days to arrest the officer, and that was only after we burnt down half a city. In this riot, burning down buildings is a precursor. That happens as okay, you took one of us, we taken out half the city. That's a precursor. Today, that's not the case. Today, people are way more civil and docile about it. Some talking points about don't destroy your own community. I don't own a Target, bro. I don't own a Whole Foods. And anytime I do go in there, their security's looking at me with their hand on their waist. So yeah, fuck the system. Do you think as a people today, by comparison, we've become more docile to the killing of our own people?
I feel like, I wouldn't say we're more docile. I feel like as a people, we're probably a bit more hesitant, because a lot or certain people kind of reach a heightened level of enlightenment, and they like, man, I can't risk everything I've built for this. I have to be more so strategic, like Freeman, if that makes any sense. I just can't jump off the porch. I gotta put a few plays in order and then kind of move accordingly.
Well, I think we just separated in views though. Like Heero was saying, you got people saying that we can't fucking do it because we got to worry about our community, but nobody realizes like in America ain't nothing yours, bro. Nothing gonna ever be yours. Like I own my house, but if I don't pay my property tax, they can take my house unless I gotta lift that bitch up like they did. You see, they moved that building in China, so I gotta lift it up and move it somewhere. Where can I take it to? Like, how do people own land? Why do we gotta pay for a piece of land that y'all don't own?
I think Rob was hitting it kind of and Black on the head. Is I think you got a lot more Freemans now, like, because if you notice, like, Freeman ain't out there doing none of this stuff either. He got a whole plan that he doing. And,
yeah, but you don't send the captain to the front lines.
But it's not even him though. He got people that's out there, but he also got his higher level people like, hey, I need y'all back here and chilling. like we
But
doing
the people that he got out there are the people that work with the organization.
street work.
They're just
Yeah.
monitoring stuff, the street workers, and then you got
Right.
a few of the high heads out there looting because that's them.
Because if you
Make sure
if
they
you
be
put us
careful.
back in that time, like they even talk about it a little bit later. Like it's only 2 of us that can elevate at a time. They talk about it a little bit later. But if you put us back in that time, it's more of us that's probably in that community that are like, all right, fuck this. We ain't elevating, ain't shit happening. We finna fuck all this up. But then you got a bunch of people that feel like Freeman's, I guess, on the other side, like, all right, I got a plan, I got a method behind what I'm trying to do. And how I'm trying to attack this. So,
and at this point, we run into a situation where the tides have to turn, and they brought it up earlier about how Dawson, I believe, was talking about the riot police playbook and how they plan on doing that. And I found it very strange that they never once mentioned the dogs in that playbook. Freeman didn't mention it, Dawson didn't mention it, but they brought 4 dogs out. And this is the story of 4 good police versus bad dogs. And the immediate agitation towards the dogs being brought out, because my hatred of dogs came from sitting in a history class, watching dogs bite people with white owners. And I was just like, okay, that was the first interaction I ever had with a dog. I didn't have a dog in Africa. So I was like, yeah, I don't like dogs. And every time dogs come, I immediately get uneasy. And that's something that speaks to how dogs were used to attack Black people in the South back in the day. So even till today, when I see somebody bring their dog up to me and it's not on the leash, I tell them, put your dog on a leash. And they're like, oh, he's nice. And then I crack my knuckles and they're like, the dog realized, oh, he don't want to fuck with me, so I'm gonna just go stay over here by my owner. Like, that is, I give that vibe off. Like, they're like, oh, okay, I get it. No pets from you, got it. I'm over here. But people, it just speaks more to how people have had certain luxuries to have dogs that they like. This is something that back then, that's something that white people only enjoyed, having dogs as pets. I feel like, because of the antagonist nature of them. So when the dogs were brought out and only the Black cops brought their guns out to stand the cops down, that conflict right there. Rob, what was your thought on that?
That was probably one of the very few highlights of that particular part of the chapter, because it's like,
With the cops though.
yeah, with the cops, like pulling their guns on the dogs. Like, man, if you don't put these or bring these dogs down, we're gonna put them down.
Yeah. And Black, do you think that, one, we know that the white officers are these are white, and this is tying it all together because we talked about the 2 people who want to kill. Black, we know that one of the types of people who like to kill for fun, and these officers were clearly looking. There's no way that they're going to sit out here for the last 5 hours sweating in the heat and not get to bust a few heads. Just as much as the riders were ready to explode, so were the cops. So Black,
White cops. But they weren't even supposed to be out there.
Exactly.
Like, they already had the plan set up for them, for who was in charge, which was Dawson. Dawson was in charge, and then the other cops told him, like, yeah, they don't need dogs, but Dawson's in charge of this. They're like, whatever, we're gonna take the dogs out anyway. Nobody told them to come, and the white people don't look at the white people don't look at the Black people as people. You know, we were saying that a little while ago. So they treat them just like fucking animals. Like you say you seen Cry for Freedom. They call the Africans Bantu, and then he was like, no, they humans. That's when the white was like, no, they humans too. Like, no, we're gonna call them Bantu. You know, go to that white man crib and he had his live-in maid. Police trying to mess with her. But you say in Africa y'all don't have dogs?
No, I'm saying we do have them, but they are used as farm animals. They're not pets, but they're not pets. They're used for the luxury of them being pets means you have to feed another mouth, and that's just not something that something a lot of families have luxury to be able to do. Like, they just leave them to roam. But something that I want to pose to you, JB, is if they were to shoot the dogs, I think if they were able to shoot one of the dogs, I think that would have quelled the rioters. I think them showing solidarity is one thing, them talking gingerly is another, but actions speak louder than words. Putting down one of those dogs who were antagonizing them would have been the sign. Do you think that would have been enough to quell the crowd?
I think so. I think we talked about the parallels between today and the book.
Yeah.
Man, like a lot of us are looking at a lot of these black cops or good cops, like we was talking about last time. Like, okay, what are y'all doing while these spoiled apples is basically spoiling the bunch? What y'all doing since y'all the good cops? You know, what you gonna do about it? Like, we don't
It's
know
just like
the
in the ride,
behind
though.
the scenes conversations and all of that. Like, they don't care. It don't matter to us at this point.
Yeah.
So
I don't think so. If they'd have killed that dog, somebody else would have killed another dog. It was just the fact that fucking you had people in the crowd already. Once they seen the dogs, it didn't matter what they did with the dog.
But you don't think
Once they seen the dog,
you don't
no,
think
once
that
they
would have
seen the
stopped
dogs, they
them?
was like, "What's next? Is the fire hose?" No, you have the person, you have to antagonize it. Well, you have the person in the crowd already amping everybody up, the hype man. He's already hyping the shit up. Oh, Shay here.
Yeah,
Shay here.
I was gonna wait.
What's up, fellas? What's up? What's up?
Look, just a bunch of dangerous people driving. Like the book club just got 5 members and it's gonna go down to 4 because motherfuckers driving and talking.
No, we good. I'm trying to be a family man today, so I got some business to handle. But I don't think killing the dogs would have been enough. I don't think that's enough. I think.
Okay, so then I'll pose the question: what would have been enough to turn this crowd off? And at that point, at that intersection, the dogs are there, the 4 guns are drawn. Is there anything that would have stopped them? Rob?
I won't say you got something to say.
Shay, go ahead.
Hey, talk your talk, bro.
Shay, go.
I don't know. I think that first of all, like you guys said, it's a different time, right? So I think coming at the book with a 2020 mindset is really not going to it's not gonna
It's the same mindset, bro. It's the same mindset.
Right?
It's the same mindset to me.
If that was today,
yeah,
I feel like we would need more than just the dog. I feel like even with rioting, you know what I mean? Like the sense of just releasing built up frustration and anger. I feel like the dog wouldn't suffice. I feel like they needed a little bit more than that, you know? Like, I don't know. I don't know.
Oh yeah, today those dogs wouldn't matter.
All right, so you have to just,
because we would have had our own dogs.
This is why I say it would have worked though.
Sure.
Because you show dissension between the ranks of what's going on. Like you show that there's a difference between the sides. Like we talked about last time with the cop that was basically like, hey, we putting our guns down, we putting our batons down, we gonna march with y'all. But you had a group of people that's mad at this point, and that changed the whole state of those people.
But that's the thing right there.
You got 2 black cops.
The problem wasn't
dogs y'all finna release. Like I feel like at that point, like we might not stop the riot, but it does make you think a second time. Like, okay, at least you know these cops with y'all. Like,
yeah,
from that standpoint.
Black.
What would have stopped that riot was if all the police left. You know how when you got 2 guys about to fight, but it ain't gonna never bust off until somebody gets in between.
Instigated.
They have somebody there. Yeah. So as soon as I said not the instigator, but the person there to break the fight up. You know how motherfucker ain't gonna really be ready to fight. So you got that person like, no, don't do it. So, and that's when somebody swing around the other guy. That's what the cops were. So the dogs are the instigators. But the cops are already the people that just holding you back from the fight when you know you weren't gonna fight. Like I done seen little girls hold back men. Like okay, I ain't gonna say no names. I seen a girl hold back a man twice her size from fighting somebody with one hand. Like don't do this, bro. And he was just talking real big.
Situation, he really want to fight.
If she was to move right out the way, wasn't nobody gonna attack. That's how most fights be. But that's how a ride would be. If no cops was there, everybody would just.
So I'm gonna draw this back to a parallel. I'm gonna draw this back to a parallel because this riot was actually set up. It was foreshadowed when they talked about the beginning of summer and how the 2 guys were arguing outside the barbershop and the crowd came around. Everybody was poking out the chest, and then somebody said a joke. Somebody said a joke, and they started laughing, and then they walked back into the bars, and it was all over with. So there is, and I felt like that was a setup to kind of dispel.
Like jump in between, like don't do it.
Yeah, this was sort of a setup to dispel that black people, when left alone, will be fine. They won't antagonize one another past a few jokes. And if it does come to blows, there's a big enough crowd that's not there to watch the fight, but to stop it from getting ugly. Like once somebody in most fights,
that's when it gets ugly.
When most fights go
if
down,
it's just you
even
and one
in the
other
black
dude,
community, when somebody's getting A-Town stomped, we gonna stop that. Dude, like, all right, bro, you won. You got your world style clip. Let's call it a day. But the thing that I wanted this chapter ended with was with that idea when Dawson and family arrived. They're not looking for peace with us. The police and the white community in this aspect, they're not interested in peacefully living with us. And once those sentiments were made, the riot was inevitable. The problem that the thing that we find out, the thing that happened next was I didn't know that they required 3 days of this riot, and that's what we get into in chapter 14. Chapter 14, they spoke a lot more about Freeman was literally walking around like he was a camera crew dude, like just interacting. Like it was so baffling me how Freeman was just wandering the streets, just like, smiling ear to ear, like the Joker.
You really got to
shit.
see how they ride fucking confrontation plays out. Like with the cops, you want to see exactly how they move and what they do, and how so that way he's planning the way he's gonna move later on. So he can say, all right, these motherfuckers.
Definitely
moving like this, and then he got that for his reports. He get back like, yeah, so and so like this, and this how it was, and this how we were effective.
I don't know, like, Rob, was it just me? Like, I thought he was just literally walking around smiling ear to ear like a Joker. Like, my man's almost got shot. He's waving to officers who are scared. Like, hey, how you doing, partner? Like at this point, like Freeman's observations. What are you seeing here?
For me, I feel like Freeman was being again calculated because in his ability to roam through, he was able to bump heads with the chief.
Yeah.
Who further kind of spoke highly of him, which made him seem even more non-threatening.
No, definitely.
And he helped that one cop out. Like, hey, come get your partner or whatnot.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Like, all right, I'm here for you.
Shay, what about you? What were some keynote things that happened that you spotted while he was walking through the riot?
Yeah, I think Freeman, he's very patient. He's very strategic with his moves. I commend him because I could never be able to show off that level of just patience and like how he feels like he's always 3 to 4 steps ahead of everyone else, right? He's planning on. I still don't know what his end goal is, but like how he's able to make himself be known when he wants to be known, and then just disappear when he wants to disappear. I like him as a character. I think, he's interesting. I just don't know. That's pretty.
So I'm gonna call out some parallels that we saw here. I don't know how everyone feels about looting.
I love
me as a personal person.
He said, "I love loitering."
I love loitering. Like I mean,
I just like the the entrepreneurial spirits of it. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
they get the product they need for their business.
Let me tell you how like non-afflicted I am about this shit. Like if somebody was kicking in Apple's door and they walking out with 12 iPhone 12s and one drops in front of me, I'm gonna look at it and I'm walking over it because I'm just at that level in my life where I don't have to risk it.
So I have on him right now.
Yeah, I would pick it up, but I know that Apple's going to turn it off. See, now that's why they only stealing AirPods, because Apple's going to turn off most of the products that's stolen.
But there's someone in the hood that can hack that. I can hack an iPhone 12 that's shut off by Apple.
Next time I'm gonna pick it up.
No, pick it up and bring it to me. I'll hook you up, bro. It's not like and then when the police come in, like he said he dropped it in the toilet or some shit and it wasn't working, so I just reset it for him. Like I don't have to know how you got the phone. Like I don't care, but. There's a part of me that speaks.
Spirits. You can sell any stolen product. They don't have nothing to do with you.
Yeah, but some of the things that were being stolen were very interesting. For example, the woman with 2 hams, the guy with the beard, with the neckties and the hats, to almost imply that he's trying to prepare for a job interview. The woman with the 2 hams, she's got a family that hasn't ate good in a while. Loitering is also I keep saying loitering. Looting is also a language of poverty. People who don't have will steal. And if they can't steal, they'll wait till someone else creates an opportunity. An opportunity, like I really enjoyed seeing some of the looting that happened during our certain riots that happened this time. The dude that stole 12 cases of diapers, a car seat, and baby formula for a year. That dude got caught and was released because nobody pressed charges on him. But the dude who stole a Lego puzzle was found guilty. Like, where do we draw the line on what's okay to loot and what's not? Because clearly, dude with the kid had to do it because he didn't have a job. But the guy who's sitting at home bored of the pandemic, is he innocent? Like, what are some of your feelings on this looting?
He should have put that Lego in a box of baby wipes or something.
Yeah, throw something in there. JB.
I don't know. I think you hit it right on the head. Like, it's the language of the impoverished. Like, even if, like, tomorrow, like you said, parallels are today. If you look at today, the places that was robbed and being broken into, Target, we just trying to get our essentials right now. Like, you can't tell me what my essentials look like, but I don't have the money, or this is an easier way for me to acquire my essentials. And to your point, like, I wasn't out looting, but as far as everybody that's out looting, I'm like, get it how you live. Like,
yeah. Shay out there, man. If the fams needed some hams, man, you going into the Target? What's up,
man? So it's funny. I love the people that was out there looting, right? So if you're out there looting, rioting, peacefully protesting, I'm all for all of that. I feel like we shouldn't draw a line between how someone expresses their emotions, their feelings, their anger. Am I a looter? I'm not a looter. Just because, by the grace of God, I'm doing well for myself right now. I'm able to make ends meet, and I'm also able to buy the things that I want. You know, I'm able to enjoy the luxuries of life. But for those who are out there looting, loot to your heart's content, because my wife is an English teacher, and I wish I can remember the name of the book, but her African American English class right now, they're reading this book, and the author said something that kind of stuck with me, and I've been thinking about it a while. It was like, when people riot, loot, sometimes they're doing it just like the ease in which they can access things is the ease that white Americans can often just purchase these luxurious things as well. Yes. So, like, if somebody wants let's say somebody steals a Rolex, right? You looting a Rolex.
Be clear about it. Some white Americans.
Some white Americans. Definitely. But it's just like it's a level of freedom. It shows that, like, you know, like, I want something and I can get it. A lot of people of color don't often get to have that feeling. They don't get to go through that part of life. Whereas, like, when I want something, I just can't go out and just go purchase it. You know. So I'm for the looters, go and loot. I didn't loot, but I have nothing against the looters. I'm not going to tell anyone not to loot.
So we've all agreed.
I'm a shooter, not a looter.
We agree. Besides Black, because Black will shoot your ass. And to the point, let's then put the shoe on the other foot. Let's say you own a business of any sort, and your business is targeted. Do you still have the same sentiments? Me personally, I don't give a damn, because that's what insurance is for. But JB,
you're supposed to have insurance with a business.
So honestly, it depends on what level of business, where I am in my level of business.
Sure.
For me personally, because, you know, I'm not the person to be taken from, because I don't have stuff to take from if I'm opening a business. So I think back to Greg Jennings. I don't know if anybody's seen him. He just went outside with his family and some friends, and they just stood in front of their store and just kind of talked to people like, hey, we
have a couple guns. We ain't really got to say many words.
A couple guns. Right. He had a couple guns with him too, but he just was outside. He was talking to people like, hey, look, this is not the spot to be breaking into. I ain't going to stop y'all from doing what y'all got to do. This ain't the spot.
Rob, how about you?
Kind of same thing, because I feel like, let's say, like, if I own Targets and all these type of companies, right, or I'm a franchisee, it's like, cool, I got insurance for that. But if I'm a mom and pop, and my main source of income is this business or establishment, and the pandemic hit where I'm not getting business, which means I'm not making money, and I still got to pay for my rent and all this. I'm going to be outside my establishment with a gun too. Hey, I can't afford for you to loot my business. Go ahead and do your
But
thing.
look, remember when the
Target ain't
pandemic
standing
started?
outside their business with no gun. They could call in the police. That's the difference.
Yeah, when the pandemic started, Prada, Louis Vuitton, and all those stores on Michigan Mile, they took all their product out of the store before anything bad happened. It was just right when the pandemic started. They took all their product out and they put it in the warehouses, so they didn't have nobody. You can break in there, you weren't getting shit.
Shay?
Yeah, I agree with everything you guys are saying. As a business owner, that's what insurance is for, right? So it definitely depends on what type of business you're running.
So
if I'm in a place where insurance is going to pay for everything, then I'll be a little more lax too. But like you guys are saying, if it's a mom and pop shop, if it's a restaurant, there's some businesses that like you looting here isn't really going to benefit you. You're just being destructive, you know. Then if that's the case, then it's more hurtful. But if I'm the general manager, if I own like a franchise, then yeah, steal to your heart's content. I'll unlock the door for you. Take it off.
Yeah, you don't. And this is the approach. This is the approach that a Nike outlet store took. I'm gonna give you guys two examples. One story that happened here in Omaha, and a story that happened to a Nike outlet store. One Nike outlet store general manager, as the riots were starting to pick up, drove to the store by himself. Just parked his car outside in front of the door. Was like, hey, look, y'all can take whatever the fuck you want, because the stuff that's been on these racks have been there for 6 months. So not only are you going to give me the insurance money to clear it all out, and then the money I'm going to use is to buy new inventory for new and updated stuff. Don't break shit though. Don't break my windows. Don't break the lights. Don't break the shelves. Single file line. And he literally did that. And it's like, if you want to pay. The camera security systems was all off, but just don't fuck shit up. And it got to the point where more people were like, I'm not inclined to. While there's another story where a guy who just committed suicide because he was indicted for shooting a guy, he was purposely out in front of his store saying that this is my mom and pop shop and I'm not letting anybody come near it. Once again, nobody was really concerned about his store because it's a food store, but it's like, all right, we get it, bro. You know, my business. But when they started looting other property that wasn't his own, he then antagonized them and he ended up shooting somebody. When he was indicted, he ended up in the jail. So that's the tale of two coins, you know. That's the tale of two different stories on the same coin. But I'm going to push forward into chapter 14, where we talk a little bit about scared cops and trained cops. How many of y'all started to realize that the gang members are better trained than the police for this situation? When Freeman started helping that one scared cop, it became innately apparent to me that this is something that they are trained and called professionals for. Meanwhile, the Cobras seem to have a better grasp on what to do. Did anybody see anything that struck them as odd during these debates?
I wouldn't say it was odd. I would say it's very another parallel to today. We talk about it a lot. Like, you shouldn't be policing in areas where you're scared of being at, or don't know about, and you just see it again.
Because you can't be there without a gun and feel comfortable walking around. I don't want you there with a gun.
I don't want you here at all. Like, you got a gun and you supposed to be walking around and you scared still. Like, you probably in the wrong spot or in the wrong profession altogether.
Definitely. Do you, Rob, is the parallels of cops like we have this situation where this cop is putting his back to the corner and reaching for his his handguns and stuff like this, while Freeman just smiling at his ass. What is the comfortability level you have to be at to be a police officer? I know you're not one, but like, what type of comfort level are you looking for in your police officers? What type of engagement would you need from a police officer for you to be okay with them patrolling your streets?
I feel like JB and Black hit it on the head. It's like, if you're uncomfortable in these areas without a gun, you shouldn't be there with one.
So then, how do you get someone to be comfortable in these situations?
You gotta live in it. Like, you gotta go. Like, I was proposing. That they basically put like move a barrier area in the city. See, make cops live in the areas they police. They get to know the people and get to know how unsafe and safe it is in certain areas and certain people.
I think that's exactly what it's going to take, because when you're not familiar with the neighborhood and you're alert, you think everyone is a potential threat, right? But if you live in the area, you know who a threat is, you know who a threat isn't, right? I'm pro, like, if you're a criminal, you deserve to be treated like a criminal. But if you're not a criminal, you don't deserve to be treated like a criminal. So when a police officer sees someone with color and he assumes that, okay, it doesn't matter if it's a 12-year-old boy that is, playing on the playground, or if it's a grown man that is, that's a father, right? As a police officer, you should be able to differentiate. You should be able to see this person like, okay, I know this dude. This is so and so's dad. He works here. His son goes to school there. So making police officers live in the neighborhood that they police, I think, will definitely start to get the ball rolling in the right direction and fixing all of this police brutality that we have. But
they doing, they put something in place so they can do that where Breonna Taylor was killed.
Yeah, that's true. JB, go.
That's why I was telling Black about that. When I moved to Cal City, the police officers, they used to have to live in Cal City. And then when they got Mayor Michelle, she signed an order where they could move outside of Cal City. That's when everybody started moving to Hammond and everywhere else. But you still police in this area, you don't know. Like, I lived on the same block with a firefighter when I first moved up, and he couldn't wait to get out as soon as she signed the order. Like, they was gone immediately. So,
Brian Carradine's dad was an officer, and he lived on my block. So, like, in my mind, in Cal City, I actually got the Cal City shirt on. You feel me?
But he black though. He black. Carradine family black.
Yeah, but I mean, I've always and to the point now, the black officers of today.
Black is the police today, man.
Black loves it, man.
The police.
If it comes down to it, black is the cop in this group, bro.
It would be on my license plate if I could have it. Like, you know how the fraternities got they
yeah. So, like, my whole thing was like, while it doesn't make sense, we late in the next chapter, Stevenson brings it up. I live in Highland Park, he says. That's next to the south for them. Like, that's adjacent. Meanwhile, the people who live in the north and west side, they have the park about 168. He said about 168 blocks separating them. So there was a level of concern that Stevenson had that the other board members didn't have because of how close he was to the riot. So with that being said, let's push to chapter 15. And the nonviolence approach versus the nonviolent approach that is being taken by the black community. We get the report back. The rioting for night one is done. The report comes back. Everyone's nervous. Freeman is expecting people to be tense, but he's already found a way to spin this like the media to his benefits. But he kind of speaks about how the nonviolence approach by black leaders of the past have let us down. And I felt like that was a direct jab to the Malcolm X way of thought process of thinking. And a lot of people attribute Martin Luther King. Martin Luther King to being this pacifist. But no one cared about his speeches until he started talking about equity in the hood. And that's when they're like, oh, no, we got to kill him. No, he's got.
I got to remember he had a gun, too.
Oh, yeah, for sure. So now that we're in the same situation, in that briefing, in that meeting, Shay, is there anything that caught you by surprise in that opening meeting with all the board members?
I don't think anything caught me by surprise. I'm trying to recall that scene right now.
So there was a conversation.
I don't know. Maybe I don't think I read 15. I might have stopped at 14. I don't. The meeting you're talking about, nothing's coming to mind right now.
Okay.
So they trying to write the basically counter what happened, and he trying to basically justify whether or not Freeman's program has been working to this point. And Freeman's talking about how the gang violence was actually down. The gangs weren't out there talking about the Cobras because he's been keeping control of that situation. So he could he's basically spinning the story however he wanted to spin it. Like, oh, y'all think it's the gangs? Well, actually, it's not the gangs. It's just normal people that's out here.
And Rob, there was a funny thing that happened where Freeman started talking in his gangster voice, his real voice, and I couldn't differentiate. Did he say that shit out loud? But then he said,
He said it in his head.
So
I read it too. I was like, oh.
That's why I was about to say we skipped over his talk with Dawson.
Yeah, that's the most important part of 15.
Back to that. Yeah, I was gonna come back to that.
Okay. Well, I was just gonna say, because Shay was talking about how he's been able to keep his cool this entire time, and it's the first time you starting to see like he a little gaslit at this point.
It's very clear what will drive what will drive Freeman. Freeman can't stand no house figures. He cannot stand them. And Dawson is.
I like that G-rated version he wrote.
Hey, I tried. This could be kid friendly, man. We try to make this kid friendly. Dawson is the epitome of. He is. We have this saying nowadays, but not even nowadays. Skin folk versus kin folks. Dawson is skin folk. Skin folk, because he doesn't understand. He doesn't even understand the plight of his own people.
He don't want to understand, bro. That's the issue.
Because he think he's comfortable.
He sound like
a comfortable person will do whatever it takes to stay there. Because comfort trumps progression. That's why billionaires
are already accepting us. Why are we not gonna just take that?
Exactly. So let's talk a little bit about the car ride over.
In my position, you can tell that they accept all of us.
Yeah, you have to. If you're gonna accept me and my medical degrees and all this bullshit, you gotta accept Uncle Pookie and them selling drugs on the corner too. Like they're one in the same facet. Because one bad day for me, one nicked artery, one dead white person that paid insurance, I'm Uncle Pookie now. Because they're not letting me operate on no.
Won't you be unemployed if you guys have a failure like that?
No, there's insurances and lawsuits, and it's sort of like the whole thing where it's like, you can't sue, you can't fire or send a company to jail. It's a company. Like I worked for the hospital, but if I was an independent contractor, that could prevent somebody from putting me on their payroll. Like, no, bro, we saw that L on your last account. We ain't trying to see that. But
do it directly reflect like let's say like, because you gotta tell them the chances, right, of the whatever.
Oh yeah, you tell. But every surgery. If I went in there to take out a pimple on your abscess on your spine, I'm gonna be like, yeah, man, you could die from this, or you could be paralyzed. The chances is 0.00001 that it'll happen, but I gotta let you know that. But also, like with the people that I've taken off of ventilation on COVID, I'm like, the moment I take you off this vent, in 10 minutes you could be dead. I'm just letting you know. And motherfuckers look at me like, well, yeah, I don't have enough money to stay on the vent. So that's the duality that I have to give people. Like, you can stay on this. And I always tell my patients, when you're dead, no one can charge you. When you're dead, no one can charge you. Your debt dies with you. Now, if you're worried about your family,
they pass that shit on to your family.
But you could defend yourself in court. Like, okay, he was dying. You could. The thing is, you still have a chance to defend yourself. But if you're dead, you're dead. So I'm always going to tell people, there's been many a times where I've been like, oh, damn, I forgot to write that order to charge them. My bad. I forgot what the number was, but I guess they'll be fine. And be like, well, the hospital has to pay for it. Yeah, the $13 billion hospital has to pay for it. Gee Willikers, Batman. Alfred, I wish I knew what to tell you. Like, I don't give a damn. Like, they be looking at me all crazy. Like, does Heero do this on purpose? And everybody like, yeah, he does it on purpose, but they don't believe them. So I just keep doing it. But like Dawson, what are some of our feelings about Dawson?
I think for me, while reading the beginning of chapter 15, the OJ song kind of popped in my head.
OJ song.
In that conversation, the Jay-Z OJ song.
I thought you were gonna take some smile on your face.
I'm not black. I'm OJ.
I'm not.
Yeah,
black,
it's like,
OJ.
Come on, man. You just blind, and I think Black said it's like because you want to be blind to like the reality of everything.
So he sounded just like Stevenson did talking about Freeman in the earlier chapter. That was one thing that popped out to me, and the other part that really popped out was Freeman was like, I just need to get him to see, and then he could probably take over for me if they cut me down.
He thinks super highly.
Like, yeah, I was like,
super highly.
yeah, I just thought it was wild. Like, because I'm getting these feelings like, all right, well, forget dude, like, you know, we gonna just keep moving. But in Freeman head, he like, oh, I need this guy, and I think he said that earlier in the book too.
I could turn him.
Black,
Yeah,
do you think Dawson is going to be the downfall of Freeman?
I read the book.
Okay, never mind then. Shay, do you think Dawson's
he also asked him
I
about
know the answer to that
that was the
question.
other thing I wanted to throw out there.
Go ahead then.
He asked him about his promotion, like
Yeah.
get under his skin.
Yeah. So Freeman does this thing. I don't know if you guys have seen the pattern. If he can't come across to you on the skin level, he gonna poke at something that he knows irritates you to get your attention. Like, so Shay, do you think Dawson is going to come in for the team? Do you think he's gonna hold it down and convert over, or is Dawson a lost cause?
Right now, I'll say Dawson is a lost cause, and I think I can be optimistic at times, but I think also I'm also a realist. I take people at face value. So right now, I'm not. Yeah, I think he's going to be more of a problem than more of an asset.
All right. Now, in the meeting, there was talks of psychology, doctors wanting to, they painted this portrayal of course, I'll send you my report so you can take my words and my observations and my social constructs and the things that I've done and use it in your fancy books, and you gain fandom over this. Speaking more to how blacks were used and not properly attributed for the things that were donated to our society. As far as this is concerned, do you think, because in chapter 14 he tells us off top there's going to need to be 3 nights of rioting in total. Do you think that he has successfully deterred the foundation from eyeballing the Cobras?
And they'd be more welcoming, like to what the Cobras bring to effect. Because of all the stuff that's been going in, they'd be like, okay, man, what can we do? And then boom, these dudes coming in and getting to work. They're like, man, we support that. Because like beforehand, it was nothing but defense, which was getting killed and stuff. Because they fucking people up.
All right. And Rob, with night 2 of rioting going about to go down, what do you foreshadow happening in night 2 of rioting?
I feel like it's probably going to be around night 3 where Freeman shows his hand as to what he really has planned, because he hasn't really said it deliberately or directly on what the Cobras are going to do. He just basically told them, hang tight until I give y'all this call. But I think more forward looking, I would be interested to see, because when he was talking to Dawson, I think there's like one captain, and I wonder if he'll use the Cobras to kill that captain so Dawson can kind of get that path to the top and then be an asset to the organization.
JB, what are your thoughts in moving forward?
Well, he talked about it a little bit. I think it was with Spank.
Yeah.
Like, do you think that they the people gonna be settled enough before we get going? So I'm just interested to see kind of what pop off there, because I think that they gonna get started before whatever his plan is. And to your point earlier, we gonna get to see like what happens when it's not all going exactly to plan.
Yeah, but it do show their discipline, right?
No, for
Right.
sure.
They not moving until he say, all right, we gonna do something. All you got is a few people out there looting.
Yeah.
Other than that, they cool.
Well, there was one person who was out there headbanging a little bit that he told to stay low, but he's the brawler.
He was out there looting. Yeah, he was out there looting.
Yeah, Spank gonna get his. He said, "Hey, I'm down for the cause, but hey, I got to get my Shay." At the end of the day, after night 1 of rioting, is the momentum going to be enough to carry them to night 3? Do you think the Cobras have enough momentum?
Yeah, I think so. I think rioting in general, it's like there's an energy there. Like, yeah, I don't know if you guys were out there when everything was happening in Chicago or not, but thrive off that energy. They feel like they're doing something, you know. And then people who weren't part of day one are gonna hear their friends talking about it. You know, like, oh, okay, that's what happened. Let's go out there for night two. So I think he does have what he needs.
Yeah, Shay, I don't know if you under one of them viaducts, man. You turned it into DJ Scribbles out here.
Oh, okay, I'm thinking I'm tweaking. I'm like, is he really swimming right now? You and me, is he going swimming?
It was me. I was like, all right, well.
He sound like Charlie Brown teacher.
Yeah, but Shay, yeah, he did. But Shay, if we get you back, we'll let you finish that thought process. But that would conclude our chapters. Was there? He's still going. I'm gonna mute him real quick. But what are just closing ideas? Was there anything I missed that you guys wanted to talk about?
Man, I'm just.
I think everyone being out.
I can't mute him. Go ahead, JB.
No, I just thought it was. I'm just curious to figure out what this man plan is, man. Like, you know, just want to see.
I mean, like, didn't he tell you?
Not really. Like, he just want to mess with Whitey.
Instead of giving this word where everyone comes out there.
I can't mute him because his signal is all the way gone. Okay, there. I had to probably go ahead.
But yeah, he said he just want to mess with Whitey. Like, okay, what does that look like? What's that entail? Are we just going to war in Chicago, or what? So
he talks about branching this out, but what's the sustainability of this?
Right, because we at a head right now in Chicago. Like branching out, I don't see how that's gonna happen. So I just want to see what is gonna happen.
Hey, Black, you want to talk about what happened to Dawson at the end of the book?
You talking about at the end? Y'all do y'all thing.
No, man, don't spoil this book for me because I promise you this will be the last meeting. At least the last one I'm part of. Y'all gonna have to find a way to do this by yourself. I'm done. Y'all ruined the book for me. Somebody ruined the TV show for me. And anytime I go to their house, I unplug their TV. That's just what I do. I just unplug their TV. I know they every night when they sit down after a long ass day, they kick their feet up, got their drink and their meal, and they hit that remote and that shit don't work. I just smile. I don't know. I'm petty like that, but don't do me like that. Why do people do that? Like,
I don't get it, man.
I'm okay. You can spoil whatever for me. I'm okay. You can tell me what's gonna happen. I'm still gonna watch.
You are okay with everything. You had Kool-Aid and ice, and then went to have breakfast, bro.
With salt pork. Did y'all see that salt pork though?
No swine, my brother. No swine. But that is our hour. Unless anybody got something they want to shout out, throw out there. Nothing. All right. Well, then
the next chat gonna be a good one. I'm gonna be drinking and everything on my birthday.
Okay, so this is the turning point. We're gonna be covering chapter 16 to 20. So for me, we have JB, we have Rob, we have Black, and we had Shay, but then he turned into DJ Scribbles, so we lost him. But from us, there you go. He back. There you go.
I'm back. Yeah. I was in a weird area, but I'm back.
But from all of us,
we're just doing the closing talks.
Yeah. Unless y'all had something y'all want to throw out.
I got one thing. Yeah, I do.
Go.
Right now, we two Africans in the chat. We're gonna be even number when the Medi get here.
Oh yeah, we're gonna have three originalists. Yeah.
I like it.
Actually, I will say something real quick about the End SARS movement. Like I've been saying this on most podcasts. I don't know if you guys are aware of this. There's civil unrest going on with the murder and massacre of Nigerian youth that's going on. And I'll put this up on the video and I'll flash this on the screen. If you want to read up on this, learn what you can do. There are things you can do. You don't have to feel helpless in this situation. There are branches, the links in the description on what you can do to help people who are being impoverished. And this is also speaking to something that I've always said. White police aren't the problem. A lot of people say white police are always the issue of it. It's the ability to have deadly force over somebody that is the problem. And we're seeing that being exacerbated in Africa where everyone looks the same.
And it's not just Nigeria that's going through a bunch of stuff right now.
No,
man.
it's not. It's Ethiopia. It's a lot of African countries, Liberia, and all these places that like there are literally people holding food ransom. You have to give up one of your children in order for you to get a week's worth of food. So
that's why I watched that Cry of Freedom, because like as bad as it was here, like it was, man, you couldn't even be around like white people. Like it was illegal to be in a relationship with a white person.
Yeah. So don't the way we lose is giving up hope and feeling like we can't do something about it. So if you're activated and want to move on that, let's do that. But if there's no other talking points, we good.
Yeah, we ain't hanging out with this one.
All right, so
see y'all on my B-Day. Have a drink on them first when y'all come to the chat.
Yeah, I'm having ready.
And when you have that drink,
and
when you take that drink, make sure you also don't drink too much so you forget to vote November 3rd. Get your ass up. Man.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's the first, bro. We ain't voted on the first. We talking about my birthday.
All right, my bad. No disrespect. Get off my damn mic. All right, fellas.